Also, why are men just so accepting with being cowards? And what I mean by that, when the conversation come about domestic violence or you guys seeing a woman actively being beat on, why are y'all so confident and so comfortable with telling people that you're not doing shit?
You can't shame men into putting their lives on the line. You can't. Describe it. Let's talk about it.
Also, why are men just so accepting with being cowards? And what I mean by that, when the conversation come about domestic violence or you guys seeing a woman actively being beat on, why are y'all so confident and so comfortable with telling people that you're not doing shit? As a woman myself, I'm not standing beside nobody to watch no woman get beat in front of me. I've never, ever done that, actually. And even though I understand the consequences that come behind getting in the middle of shit like that, I still help. And I be so fucking confused. Like, legitimately, I feel so uncomfortable when the conversation come up and so many of y'all are so comfortable with saying how much you're not doing shit. Why should I put my life on the line for a bitch? I need to go home to my family too. And my thing is, why do y'all think so extreme? Like, what is this extreme thinking that y'all got going on? Because since when did you saving somebody meant that you had to play Captain Save a Hoe? You see what I'm saying? Like, how do y'all confuse yourself in these sort of scenarios to justify your cowardice? How? There are so many different things that you as a man can fucking do, and yet y'all don't do it. Somehow, some way you can conjure up so many creative ways to beat on a woman, but when it comes down to protecting a woman, it's crickets. All of a sudden, every last one of y'all become titty babies. Every last one of y'all up under y'all motherfucking mama's titty, crying and shit, talking about how you got a family, talking about how you is somebody's son. Just like there's somebody's daughter that you are quite literally witnessing with your own motherfucking man eyes being beat and battered on. I don't give a fuck if she does go back to him. And I don't even understand that being the reason why y'all don't help women in situations. Duh, she gonna go back. Did you not just see what that nigga just did to her in public? So you thinking because you came in, swept in, and whooped his ass, what you think gonna happen hours later once the situation is died out? You think she just supposed to disappear and everything is going to go like that? That's not how domestic violence works. Actually, because you whooped his ass and because you bruised his ego, there is a heavier chance that he is going to kill her. So when y'all get online and y'all admittedly state that you're not helping a woman because she's not going to do shit but stay, duh. You even just tried to beat that motherfucking nigga. You tried to beat the Incredible Hulk. What the fuck happened? He damn near killed you. He literally almost pointed the motherfucking gun at you. So if he's already pointing guns at her, already beating and battering on her, why the fuck are you mad because she's going back? That's what victims do. Victims go back to save other people. Victims go back because there is a high likely chance that if she actually do not pop up within a few hours, he's going to stalk her and he's going to find her and he's going to kill her. But that doesn't justify your cowardice. That's what I want y'all to understand. That does not justify your cowardice. You trying to use that as a justification to simply make it seem like you're going to become some sort of Spartan and y'all gonna go in this thing and fight it out until whoever dies and that's the winner. What the fuck going on? Calling the police is still an option. Getting in the middle and just being a middleman is still a fucking option. Talking the man out of the situation and redirecting his behavior is an option. Getting her out of the situation and placing herself in a safe zone is options. And if you feel like you're still too cowardly to boldly do things like that, screaming fire. Because believe it or not, when you scream fire, that actually gets more garnished attention than it does screaming help. So many options that y'all can do. And somehow, some way, y'all go straight into the fact of, if I jump in, I'ma die. You coward, pussy ass motherfucker. Also, why?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I'll call the cops, but I'm not jumping in to intervene into a situation like that. When we continually see when people do so and the threat of death is actually prevalent. Just recently, a young man was killed. 2 young men were killed. Another older man was killed because he intervened. And sometimes it has nothing to do with domestic violence. It has nothing to do with a woman being beat on. In Vegas, I think 4 or 5 days ago, a young man intervened while someone was stealing flowers. He was shot and killed. Now, I'm saying, I'll call the cops, right? Or call the cops, grab footage, all these things. But you cannot shame men into this point where you trying to make them seem they're concerned, why they're thinking so extreme. Men often have to think like that. They understand how things can turn on a dime and how bad things can actually be. So you have to weigh that out. Now, coupled with understanding that a lot of people in domestic violence situations may not be ready to actually leave. That is normal. That is documented. So you want me now to risk myself, to intervene, to put my life on the line for it to possibly mean absolutely nothing. To just be Eze was remembered by blah, 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 blah. That does nothing for my family. That does nothing for my actual loved ones. That would do nothing. If I had kids, it would do nothing for them. Your daddy hero. So what? Would you think they'd rather have that moniker, or they'd rather have their father in their lives? What you want is a community that does not exist. You want a community that understands and police each other to the point where shame was still a real thing, that would look at that man and say, that is not how you actually behave and treat a woman. We get that. On the other hand, it would also say to women, this is not the type of man you should be around. You watch him, you watch these behaviors in him. You watch as he's aggressive towards everything else, and it's fine while it's pointing outward, but you don't realize how soon it's pointing towards you. Then you stay. Or in some cases, you both turn on that person that came to defend. So you want men to ignore. You want men to ignore the reality of what they see. You want men to ignore the reality of saying, I have loved ones that expect me home. I have loved ones that actually need my care and attention. I'm the backbone, the breadwinner for my family and extended family. You want me to intervene. You want me to jump in here for someone I do not know. And here's the tricky part. Here's the tricky part. You want me to intervene for someone I do not know when her and women with her likeness constantly degrade me, constantly tell me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what's wrong with me as a man. Even in this reprimand, in this video where this woman was talking, everything about that was highly negative, about calling men this, idiots, cowards, awful. So, do you want us to actually now somehow look at this and say, you're right? Let me now still ignore him? I haven't heard a solution to any of the issues that I have. You offered no solutions, no counters to say, well, you should get over that. You want us to effectively, and the probability exists. Just like the probability I'm going to find a man that's going to pay all my bills. The probability exists for me to actually be harmed, to be killed. Now, men understand this risk. They understand the nature of this, and for their friends, for their family, for their loved ones, that's a calculation they don't need to actually sit there and run through. They already know the answer, what they're going to do. But for strangers, I can be a good witness for you. I can tell, hey, don't do that, right? Hey, that's wrong. And in fact, a lot of videos, you actually see that happening a lot of times. But with the prevalence of how quick, right? Let's run this down. So that man is beating on the woman in public. That tells me he lacks a lot of emotional control. That tells me he probably has some sort of firearm on him, some sort of weapon. He's the type of person who, when enraged, when angered, does not have a bottle on his emotions. I don't care what she did. I don't care what she did from cursing at him, spitting at him, cheating on him. None of that warrants him putting his hands on her. So he lacks emotional control. He's more than likely already enraged, already trying to take her back somewhere so he can hit on her more if he's doing this in public. In that regards, anyone coming in the middle of that, in trying to stop him from his righteous anger, yeah, he's more likely to see this is a bigger threat. This is someone, okay, cool, I got something from him. Now the gun comes out. This is a simple calculation for a lot of men. We know that it doesn't take much control for me. I'll never hit a woman. I'll never beat on a woman in terms of that DV sort of sense. If he's already doing that, he's probably been doing that. He probably lacks that emotional control. He will more than likely decide, I got to get my lick back, or I got to make sure this is right. Even in her example, we go, we fight, we put him in the dirt. What happens the next time he runs into her? She's in danger. Like she said, most DV victims are not ready to leave when they're actually in it. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of emotion for them to get up and say, I'm done. I need to save myself. I cannot continue to do this. If I stay here, I will die. I will die. So you want us to jump into situations and scenarios like this, because I'm not just risking myself. I'm risking the livelihood of everyone else attached to me. And you want us to do this for strangers who constantly tell us they don't need us. They don't want us. We're toxic. You want us to jump to hyperviolence when you deem it necessary. You want us to be soft when you deem it necessary. Men are sitting here and say, you know what? You do not get that level of control over my life to tell me that where my life should be spent. You don't get to tell me that my calculations is off, is wrong, that I'm sitting here be a coward. Call me a coward. I don't care. I don't care. A lot of men agree. I don't care what you call me. This isn't the movies from the 80s, from the 90s, where someone says, I impugn upon your honor, or this is not a Western show where, someone throws down the gauntlet and we got to fight. No, I don't care. I'm going to protect those who are mine. Part of that protection that comes with the understanding. You do not find yourself in these scenarios. When you entreat with some of these men and they lack that sort of emotional control, you got a man from the streets, you will know you are walking into that scenario. You're walking into scenarios in which you should never be. Part of that protection comes from already early on saying, don't do that. This is not what you're supposed to do. This is not a good man for you. That's the protection. Rather than now we're trying to solve this a year or two down the line when emotions, this kid's at home and he's dragging you down the street towards the car, towards the trunk. And you want us to jump in and say, yo, don't do that. We know what likelihood is going to happen. We could put our lives in danger. He can have a weapon. He could shoot you and deal out the damage to you later on. The best thing we could do is be a witness. Sometimes that means videotape. Sometimes that means calling the police. Sometimes, yes, that means coming in and trying to appeal and say, hey, you don't want to go down this road. But understanding that me jumping in there, that person's life has to be somehow is weighed and is more important than my own. No. We used to have a community where stuff like that mattered, or you wouldn't have to get that far involved because shame was still an effective deterrent in the community. We abandoned that a long time ago when we decided, oh, who gives a shit? Men are the last ones catching up to a lot of that and saying, okay, these shame tactics, they don't work. You want us to protect strangers out in public? Well, then there still has to be some sort of community. There still has to be some sort of through line, some sort of connection that says, we know better. We shouldn't be moving like this. Part of that also says, that type of man is no good for you. That is not incumbent upon us to come and say, here we are at the 11th hour. Die for me. Listen, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on the screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. Of course, if you listen to sound my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. I'm just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.